Okay, welcome to another episode. My name is Lebe. I'm an executive assistant living in Nigeria and working remotely. So who is an executive assistant? An executive assistant is simply someone who is a professional, high-level professional who supports an executive, C-suite executive, that's a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operations Officer, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, a manager, whoever it is that is at the top level, usually in management positions, they require an executive assistant. So an executive assistant majorly and basically focuses on the part of the business, focuses on the business. Now, this does not mean that an executive assistant does not provide support to their personal lives, right? But the primary focus of an executive assistant is on the business. Yes, on the business. So this is who an executive assistant is. Now, what's the difference between an executive assistant, a personal assistant, and administrative assistant? So an executive assistant basically focuses on the business, right? And business in terms of being a strategic partner to their executive, either the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, whoever, right? So they are, in most cases, they are the liaison between the executive and the rest of the team members, right? The rest of the organization. Why an administrative assistant is more in terms of admin. You're there to support the staff, you're there to support the team, you're there to ensure that things go smoothly. So an administrative assistant is more focused on operations, right? A personal assistant, like the name implies, it's personal. So you're there to support your principal on a personal level. So in most cases, or in some cases, the personal assistant is usually a living assistant. So you live, or the assistant lives in the premises or on the premises of the executive. You're there to run errands, you're there to pick up laundry, you're there to basically everything. Manage all of their businesses, manage their life, manage everything. But an executive assistant is more focused on the business, is more focused on the growth of the business. Sometimes the executive assistant could double as the company secretary, but not in all cases, right? But yes, that is who an executive assistant is. That is the difference between an executive assistant, a personal assistant, and an administrative assistant. Now, who is a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant can be any of these persons, any of these categories of roles, can have any of these duties, but a virtual assistant works remotely. You don't go to a physical office, right? In most times, you have a home office where you work from your home, and virtual assistants usually have more than one executive they are supporting. This doesn't mean that an executive assistant doesn't work or cannot work remotely or cannot work virtually, but the core focus of an executive assistant is the business. The core focus of a virtual assistant is that they work remotely. Yes, that's basically the difference.